Speaking of producing more good in the world, what do you think we do after we're done with this? We're done with these 8 questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do next?
Phails at philosophy.
Well, we could go read another philosophy book. We could read a different kind of book.
Yeah.
I was looking at my shelf. It's a thick book.
It's
a really thick book. But
you know I like to choose books by their thickness.
Right. But it's not a philosophy book per se.
The same way I like to choose my queso.
And I think it gets at a lot because you often come back to these origin stories. Like, what were the migration to agriculture?
What's the book?
The book is called The Dawn of Everything.
Okay. What if the next time you brought over some books and we
just film looking at them and stuff?
We would film looking at the book and talk about the book and think about and choose our next book?
No. We each bring 5 books.
I got to come up with books?
You got to come up with 5 books. And I come up with 5 books.
How am I going to find philosophy books?
You're
going to get
all right.
You're going to get philosophy for dummies, Grant.
All right, I'm looking at your shelf. I see Mindsight, Dare to Lead, Blink,
Brene Brown. Brene Brown. You want some Malcolm Gladwell in here?
All of those are books we can have good philosophical conversations around. They're books about ideas, and that's all you need for good philosophy. They may not be making academic philosophical arguments.
It'd be better to read for me. I'd be less angry as I'm reading through the text.
Bring it, and we'll see you.
So we each bring 5 books, and we together
just talk through them and decide
what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And maybe have some arguments so that we satiate the masses' desire for conflict.
We just need to stage the arguments.
Stage them?
Stage them.
What do you want to argue about? Let's stage one right now. What should we argue about?
I don't know.
Do you have anything? What, you can't even come up with an argument, Grant?
No.
That's right, because you're too chill.
I am far too chill.
You're way too chill, and you know what? Your chillness is harshing my extreme.
It is.
And that's not okay with me.
Yeah, I know. It's actually my strategy to defeat you.
I'll never be defeated. Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pick 5 books each. We'll come together and discuss them and then land on one. Another thing I thought we could do would be to have one episode where we talk through all of these 8 questions and think through, like, what is this? What have I left with? Having like a philosophical discussion that was like a holistic thing of this book.
Like after that.
Like, what do you mean?
Maybe we can do that when we look at the 5 book.
Yeah, we can do that day too, because we'll have 2 hours.
Yeah,
we can do that. Yeah. Just go through like a quick talk on each one of these questions. Like, how do I think now about, human flourishing, and how do I think about does reality have a ground, and just like go through all.
Yeah, is reading this done anything for me except be like a nice exercise to hang out and get some good footage
and hang out with you and have good talks.
Which is a good in itself that I don't want to undervalue.
Yeah, it's enrichment. If I'm going to read more of this type of stuff, I probably need to do it more consistently, because I think the anger would reduce. There'd be a reduction in anger with more familiarity of this type of text. You know what I mean? Like doing it once a month or once every 2 months, I'm just like, I have to learn it again, how to read, how laborious it is, as opposed to like, it's this. I'm beginning to get familiar with this, because I imagine you're familiar with this type of laborious reading.
Yeah, no, it's there's no question that like reading is a skill, and I've spent my life developing that skill.
Yeah, I haven't.
Right. And even if you're reading a lot,
well, this is not reading, Grant.
But no, it is. It's reading.
No,
it is reading.
This is deciphering the most just. I could find a sentence in here.
Which is what reading is. Rereading is decoding.
But they're doing their best to make it the hardest to read something.
I think in some cases, yeah, but I think it's actually that they're often making technical arguments or complicated arguments that actually require a level of cognitive investment.
And context. Like you
And
kind of
context,
need to
yeah.
be in the context of the
That-
author and his world of like the people that he's read and kind of
no,
knowing the people.
Absolutely. No, I
I'm
think
just going to pick a sentence at random.
Right.
And hope that it is
Go for it.
particularly challenging. Buddhist recognition and affirmation of the interdependence and karmically qualified interpenetration of all things ultimately involves recognizing and affirming the mutual non-obstruction of self and society, or more accurately stated, the mutual non-obstruction of the personal and the public as distinctive dimensions of human relationality.
Yeah.
The challenge there is, he says, or more accurately stated, and I still, you got that. You got that whole thing?
I know. I would actually have to go back and reread it and decipher it some.
Buddhist recognition and effort.
Like, well, and I mean, like, partly because I'm a reader, not a listener.
Right.
So I'd have to look at it on the page to decipher it. And so yeah, it's a very complex idea in a complex sentence.
I think it enriches my life doing it.
There is a level at which some writers could probably, and I think this may be one writer or editors could benefit from saying, following the George Orwell school of thought in terms of writing and communication, how can I say this more in plain language?
Yeah.
Right?
I'll say this again. I'm sure I've said it in past
And that's
episodes.
the context.
I wish we could make this palatable. And maybe that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I think that's part of
Making
what we're
this
doing.
palatable for a lot of people, because I think there's benefit to sitting with these questions.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been enriched by it, but the masses aren't going to get there through reading this book.
I
They're
mean,
not going to read this book.
right, and it's like any other technical discipline. There are things you can do when you operate at that technical language in terms of the complexity of ideas you can examine. But if that's the way you work when you're talking to a broader audience, you're going to lose them. Like, if I'm a physicist and I try to explain physics to you, if I'm a theoretical physicist, by writing all the equations I need to do, like, you're going to be lost.
You'll be lost.
Right? So why would I think that looking at all those equations is the best way to get it as the masses? Like,
Yeah.
But this is a book that is...
It's
that is
for
designed-
academics.
Well, this is a book that is really designed to be like a first or second year for academics. But
This is first or second year?
Yeah.
You heard that sentence? That's a fourth year sentence.
I know, isn't it? Well, you got to throw some fourth year sentences at first or second year people, so they develop the skills around it.
Yeah. Stephen M. Emmanuel, I emailed him, and he emailed me back. Great guy. I couldn't get him to come on the show. I wish we could.
But did he? So he knows that you did a series of podcast.
Yeah,
Was he excited by it?
Yeah. He
That's
was
great.
he was like, I think I've emailed a handful of these authors.
That's
and
awesome.
A lot of them have emailed me back
Yeah.
and said, I think it's great that you're exposing this content to lay
Of
people.
course, yeah.
He's actually writing a book now based on Pixar movies, I think, philosophy and Pixar movies. And he offered to send one to me. So I thought about writing back and saying, hey, yeah, send that over. And maybe we'll add that to the next 5 we do and stick with Stephen M. Emmanuel with our philosophical journey.
Yeah.
I'll just have to think, which was his question? He did one of them.
I think he did maybe the first one. I can't remember.
He did, oh my God, now he did How Much Is Enough.
Oh, he did that one. Yeah.
He did How Much Is Enough.
Chapter 7.
Greed, prosperity, and economic problems of happiness, a comparative perspective, which is the one we did last.
Yeah, that had a lot of discussion of Adam Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.